These are games that I want to come to Nintendo Switch too. Just some games that aren't on Nintendo Switch or Nintendo consoles as a whole, or some games that desperately need to be reworked because they're on Switch 1 and they run like shit. Here's a few of them. I have always been a fan of the Watch Dogs games, and yes, that includes the first one. I was so disappointed with Legion, so I just go back to the first two games way too often, but 2 has so much going for it, I see no reason why it shouldn't come to the portable hybrid console. One of my favorite games of all time would just it would just be fantastic. I'm absolutely going to be there day one if it gets announced. Far Cry 5 is my favorite game in the Far Cry franchise, right next to 4 and Blood Dragon. It's just so goddamn fun. I've tried to enjoy it on my Steam Deck, but I feel like a native port to Nintendo Switch 2 would just be magical. Or they could verify it for the Steam Deck, but I'm not going to hold my breath as Ubisoft loves to use anti-cheats, so Switch 2, please. I love all the Mafia games. Yes, even 3. I feel like Nintendo players are missing out on some great storytelling by not having these available to them. It's really hard to describe how great these games are, so I really recommend trying to find a way to play them if you're stuck on Nintendo consoles. Mafia 3, however, is the one I would really want to see make its way over to the Switch 2. When the game came out, it ran as good as Jimmy Valmer, but now that it's had some time for the studio to patch the game up, it has become a pretty respectable time. I'm going to remain hopeful but realistic because they've been working on Old Country for a while, so we'll see if that comes to Switch 2 instead. Sleeping Dogs. I don't know how this game never made its way to the original Switch, but I think now would be a better time than ever to bring it to Switch 2. A super underrated gem of an open world crime game where you play as an undercover cop in Hong Kong. I never understood why we didn't get another game in. But I bet releasing this on Switch 2 would really bring more attention to it, and hopefully we can still get that sequel we've all been waiting for. Batman Arkham Knight, but better. Jesus Christ, this game runs like ass on Switch 1, and even well after over a year, it still barely runs. I think just porting it over to Switch 2 and erasing the Switch 1 version from history would be the right move for everybody involved. Especially your wallet, because I paid $60 for the release on Switch 1. GTA 4, I have loved this game since I was a kid. Rockstar still hasn't released a remaster of this game for modern machines, and it's super frustrating. This game getting a release on the Switch 2 would be so damn amazing. I know there's no way they can fuck this up as bad as the original trilogies. I hope. Sunset Overdrive. I know this is more of a fever dream since this game is owned by Insomniac and Sony owns them, and Sony doesn't like sharing its games. I can't imagine this making its way to a Nintendo console anytime soon. However, the best part about dreams, they sometimes become reality. This parkour zombie shooter will have you constantly moving and jumping while shooting at zit-covered Zelda fans. It was so unique when it came out, and yet it never got a sequel, which is a shame because I'm 90% certain the sequel would have made way more money if it was given the chance. Also, here are some games I didn't have time to capture footage for, but would love to see come to Switch 2. Bully, Red Dead Redemption 2, Psychonauts 1 and 2, and hopefully Assassin's Creed Shadows. I know that got a rating, but still, shut up.